Got to hit record. That beautiful soliloquy in the beginning, and I forgot to record it. Oh well, I'll have to start over, I guess. No, just kidding. But when you look around all the agents in your market center, okay, and you look at who you might look to aspire to, like if I look to the right, it might be Vicky. If I look to the left, it's Mike Daly. You may want to aspire to be these people because they have successful businesses. And that's great. But then you also have this little limiting belief on your shoulder says, wow, I don't know if I can do that. Well, here's the funny thing. They all started where you were at some point in time. For me, it was 14 years ago, okay, when I got my license, 2007. Right? Everybody starts with the same number of transactions in production in the wheelhouse, and that number is 0. It's a great equalizer in real estate, right? Did you know that the next generation of millionaire real estate agents haven't even gotten their license yet? Real estate doesn't, right? It's not going anywhere. Now, I say it's not going anywhere to a degree because there are the powers that be that are trying to take it somewhere, and they're trying to take it away from you. Right? That's what we call this. They're trying to disrupt our industry with technology and money. There's one thing you cannot recreate with technology and money, and that's relationships. You have them, they want them. We're not going to give it to them unless we do. Now, a lot of that has started. So I talk a lot of things about our journey, our big why, and what are we doing? Why are we doing what we do? Now, I'm not talking about why you have your real estate license. I'm talking about why does KW, okay, the world's largest real estate company, tout themselves as a technology company? Remember, I'm a realtor, have been for 14 years. I'm a technology instructor. I'm a licensed realtor. So when I first heard that, I was kind of like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Well, it took me a little while to digest and understand and take a picture of the landscape of what was going on around me. When you look at our competition or the other companies that are in our world who weren't always competition, there's a company called Pillow. You might have heard of them, right? For a long time, they were a lead generation company. Basically, agents paid them money, gave them their listings for free, and Pillow sold them leads back. We built them. They were built by agents, okay, who paid them. And NAR, who sold us out by giving them access to everything. Now, for years, we recognized that there was a potential threat to our industry because they could be a brokerage. They stepped back and said, we're never going to be a broker. We're not going to be a broker. Well, guess what they are now? Anybody care to know? I saw some of you whispering. The answer is correct. Yes, they are a brokerage. They're a broker now. No surprise to a lot of us, surprise to some, not to all of us. And so back in 2010, KW had a partnership with a company called Market Leader. We rolled out a platform called eEdge. We still use it a little bit today, but we're migrating away from that into Command fully, but it takes time. But our partnership was soon thereafter interrupted because Market Leader, our partner, a third-party company, was acquired by a company called, you guessed it, Pillow. Okay, so our database, all that information was at risk. Okay, that was the first shot across the bow. Secondly, we had a relationship with a company called Loop. Those of you, anybody been with us more than 3 years? Hands raised. Okay, anybody heard of Loop? Okay, Loop for us was a precursor to DocuSign.
Love Loop.
I liked Loop too. I liked them up to the point that Zillow purchased them. And here's the challenge, and this is why I have this conversation with each and every one of you, because anytime our businesses are interrupted, we go, why is this happening? I like what I have. Understanding the journey of the big why for KW is incredibly important to understanding your journey as a realtor. Zillow bought Loop. Why? They bought them for their data. They bought them because KWI is the largest real estate company in the world. And if you don't think that's a threat to you, you have to look at the business and understand that data is everything. Artificial intelligence, big data, and it happened last week. Does anybody know that Facebook is no longer called Facebook? Facebook, the tool's called Facebook, but Facebook, the company, is called something else. Anybody know what that is?
No.
Meta. Meta is short for metadata or the metaverse because it's about data. It's all it is. Okay. So those companies, those investments, those companies are coming after your data. They want your data. So they'll have the best way to do is go out and buy companies that have the data. So KW, Gary, okay, went internally and said, I'm going to build a platform that I will never, ever sell that has our data for our agents to protect our agents and our consumers. That was command. Okay, that was to protect you and your consumers and your data from going out to the public. And in doing so, there's a challenge. It was new to us. And with newness comes issues and challenges. And it's a bumpy road. And agents don't like to have their businesses affected. So for the agents that have been in business for a little while, they didn't like a lot of the newness of us saying, use this, use that, and the other thing for a couple of reasons. One, it affects their business. Two, new is hard. Some like change, some don't. Some like tech, some don't. They just want to buy, sell, and invest and work with their clients. And that's a bumpy road. Okay. But until you go live, doesn't matter how much you test something, until you are live for 180,000 people, you don't know. And honestly, we didn't do the best job when we rolled it out. There were more problems than there probably should have been. And not just the problems that were there, but how did we respond to those challenges? Right? So we disheartened some of our agents. Now we're in the process of winning some of them back. And here's what I can tell you, and I completely honestly can tell you this now, that KW Command will work for 90% of the agents. 90% of the agents don't need to pay another nickel to do anything else. Command works that well. Does that mean Command is perfect? No. Is Command finished? No, probably never will be. We talk about a platform that we built for agents by agents, because you all have a say in how the platform is being developed, because a lot of you lab it, and not so you knew if you're new, but those you've been with us for a while get to test it out and provide feedback. And we're constantly growing that, right? Built for agents, built by agents. That's what that means. And we will never sell our data to anybody else. But sometimes it doesn't work the way that we want. I'll tell you, Tuesdays, we're usually a little sluggish because those are the days that we roll things out. It's how we respond to the fixes. And that's been the biggest change over the last year, is that when we roll something out, something does not work appropriately, we get it back up pretty quickly. Sometimes you just need to go get a fresh cup of coffee and walk away. Sometimes you need to reload and come back. That's tech. Tech happens, right? And sometimes, and quite often actually, when the system is having a challenge, a lot of people say command this, command that, and it has absolutely nothing to do with command, because while we build it internally, we still have a lot of business partnerships, right? Facebook goes down. Amazon World Services goes down. Google goes down. I live in Ashburn, which is did you know that 80% of all the world's internet traffic travels through Ashburn, right? Sometimes they have issues. So not everything is as it seems, but it's easier to jump on the bandwagon and go this, gain clarity. So as we journey on, I needed to spend this time, and I love spending this time explaining to you, because you need to care about and you need to understand the big why KW is building their own platform. And I'd like to pause here, ask any questions for clarity, or anybody that has heard this, didn't hear it, or it's new to them. What do you guys think about that? Hold down your space bar, turn on your microphone. We're a collaborative group.
It's awesome.
Thank you, Sherry. It's awesome. Right? Some people think it is. Some people like, I just want to buy and sell real estate, but I understand you want it to interfere in business, but do you understand the why? That's the important thing. Do you understand, or do you now have some clarity that you didn't have before about the why? Sam, you've heard me tell this story a couple of different times, right? You have a better understanding of the why now? Oh, she turned her camera off because I called on her.
I do.
Awesome.
I do, even though I was an early adopter and frustrated, but yeah, I completely agree.
Look, I don't hide for that. And that's why I do this, right? There were early adopters. I was one of those guys. I jumped on it and I told the story. And there are people that got quite upset because early on, early adopters were great and necessary, but they had a lot of hardship on that. Right?
And there was no help.
Yeah, I spend a lot of my time now winning people back over. And I'll be completely honest about it. For a while there, the bigger teams and larger producers, I was not ready to have those conversations with them because I knew where some of the warts were, and I was not ready to have those conversations. But I can be completely honest with you now. There's not a single person in this company that I won't talk to about command. Now, does it do everything the biggest teams need to do? Not yet. It does a lot. And when I talk to them, we look at that, we educate them on it, and they can make informed decisions about whether they transition away from what they were using. And some of them I've saved thousands of dollars each year because they pay external platforms to do what command does. So a lot of this is an educational journey of understanding, not just how to use it. So that's a lot of what we do. Have you guys read this little book? It's my bookshelf called the Redbook. Anybody heard of this? Anybody read this? Wendy, you've heard of this, right? Ted? Shelly? All right, you guys have read this one. I have a really cool teacher's edition. So you can shop for this on Amazon if you don't have it. I highly recommend this version of it because it's tabbed and it's got note pages you can highlight and you can reference back. It's a great version of this. But here's the thing, right? Gary literally wrote the book on real estate. So whether you're a KW or not, if you're a producing successful agent, you probably have read this book by the guy that runs our company. Well, two guys, right? Jay Pepzon, Dave Jenks too, who we just lost this year, Dave Jenks. But command, when you look at command and how it functions, not technologically, but process flow wise, organizationally, comes from here. Lead listings leverage, how you follow up. What's your sphere-based business? What's your financial model? What's your lead gen model? All those things, how you run your business technologically, stem from here and is all inside of command. So those are things we're going to cover over the next 8 classes. So as I jump into my slides here, this is just the teacher's edition. It's the best way I can call it. It's spiral bound and it's got tabs in it. So it's the MREA, but it is the teacher's edition, and you can find it on Amazon. It's actually cheaper on Amazon than on Keller Inc. Just saying.
And if you can't find it and you have a copy, you can just take it to Staples and they'll spiral bind it for you.
Oh, I've done that with a bunch of books, actually. I do that with a lot of my one thing. I'm actually rereading the one thing right now. I don't have my copies in my office. I spiral bound that. So I do that with some books that I use regularly. I'll take them to Kinko's and have them cut the binder off and turn them into a spiral bound.
Just curious, do they charge a lot?
To spiral bound cut? Not terribly, no. Depends on the thickness of the book. But no, not much at all. But honestly, this book on Amazon was relatively inexpensive. I looked it up last week. But they're there. And kellerinc.com is the other place where you can shop for it.com. All right, so let's jump into our session for today. I'm going to bring my slides up here. Make sure I cover everything because I have a tendency to go down different rabbit holes. Right, my Market Center tech trainers are quite familiar with my rabbit holes, but I promise to bring you guys all back to my message. That's the great thing about my classes. So you never know what Dave's going to say today. I try to keep it clean. I don't want Mo calling me. All right. First thing first, as I mentioned, I'm the regional technology trainer. I am also the Market Center tech trainer for KW United Falls Church. And every one of our market centers, or almost every one of our market centers, has a technology market center, which is called a market center tech trainer, right? So if you're with Virginia Alliance, that person at the moment is Kai Holleran, and he's working on bringing on some more people for those market centers, and Catherine Reedy is one of those out of Loudon. If you're with KW United, that's me and Shirley down in Fredericksburg. If you are with KW Metro, that is Rachel Baker, right? And then you'll see these different names across the region: Shalaya, Derek, Justin. On this call, we have Ted and Shelly, and I saw Wendy. Every market center, right, minus Kingstown at this point, has a market center tech trainer. So they're the local version of me. They're the highest level, most utilization, understanding of command in your market center. They do trainings with me locally, regionally, and they do the trainings and meet with you guys individually. So what typically happens is after you guys attend all these classes, you're going to go meet with them one-on-one. and reaffirm what you guys learned on your weekly calls with me, right? Over the next 2 weeks, you're going to meet with them. A lot of them meet on Fridays at 10 o'clock, not all of them, a lot of them do, and go over what you did that week. Did you load your contacts? Did you build your tags? Did you clean up and set up your opportunities, right? Did your website completely launch? You're going to do those things in class. You're going to be able to go back and meet with them, clean it up, because I understand perfection takes time, and there really is no such thing as perfection. And you're going to have questions about how to do things at a higher level that we can't do all inclusively over the next couple of days. So I saw some of you taking pictures. Does everybody know who their person is? Did people know who their person was before I showed this list? Sam, you've been with so many of my classes. I'm going to tell Drew it's you.
It better be.
There you go. All right. Any questions on the Market Center Tech Trainer or the people in your world? If you don't know them, get to know them. They're wonderful, wonderful people, all except for Ted. All right. So first thing, as I mentioned, today was a workshop. So first thing I want you all to do, okay, I want you all to get your phones out. Now, some of you may have done this already, but it's a place where I like to start because I like to get engagement, okay? I want you to all get your phones up. Everybody put phones up. I want you to go into your store, your app store, your Google store. I try not to judge the Apple people. You're special. I understand. It's okay. I want you to go to your store, and I want you to download the KW Mobile Real Estate app. If you've already done it, that's okay. If you haven't, I want you to go ahead and do this now. Give it a second, download the app. And while you're doing that, I'm going to kind of talk you through it. Every one of you has a KW user ID and password, right? You need that to get in the command, and it works on all the command systems except the KW mobile app, because the KW mobile app is not for you. It's for the consumer, right? It's a search portal. It doesn't know that you are you, right? It doesn't know. It doesn't know that Gina is Gina. It doesn't know that Karina is Karina. It just knows that it's a mobile app and it wants to help you search for real estate. So what you do once you've downloaded it, and I like to use Zoom and I like to use technology. So on the bottom of your screen, okay, under your navigation bar, you should see the ability to raise your hands, right? Thumbs up, claps, right? Annotations. So when I ask questions, I usually look for thumbs up. It's under the word reactions, right? So once you've downloaded your mobile app, or if it's already downloaded, I want you to put your thumbs up on your screen. That way I can gauge a general understanding of all of you where we're at the same page, okay? Now, if you've just downloaded the mobile app, the next thing it's going to do is ask you to create an account. I recommend that you create an account with an email that's not your business email, because it doesn't know you're you, right? So mine is created under my son's name just because I can use and test and play around with it. Once you create an account, it's going to ask you to choose your realtor. Or if you haven't done so already, under the More button across the bottom, it says More, okay? Underneath More, at the top of the page, if you've already chosen a realtor, that should be you. It'll show up at the top of the page. If you haven't chosen a realtor, okay, you can go in there and select one. You should select yourself. Okay, so at the top of the page, you should see yourself as your realtor on this mobile app. Now, on Monday, okay, we're going to have a guest speaker because I'm going to be out of town at a hockey tournament. You'll learn this about me. I travel on my hockey nut job, right? But Kyle Holler is going to teach consumer on Monday. And he's going to take a deeper dive into Command Mobile into the consumer app and the website, about launching that and building it up. But every day, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the mobile app just so you can get comfortable with it. Okay, so I want you to all to have this. I want you to create an account under a different name than yourself, right? Like a contact would. And we'll talk about it each day about what you're going to do with it and how you're going to share it with people. But it all starts with just having on your phone, logging in, searching for real estate, and getting comfortable with it. So can I get thumbs up? Is everybody logged in? Everybody downloaded? Everybody created an account and branded to yourself?
No.
Who was the no? Deborah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still signed up as well.
Huh? Deborah and Gray.
I have a question.
Okay.
When we create another profile, I mean,
Mhm.
basically it's another profile. It's not like a co-buyer, because right under our profile, it says add a co-buyer. That would probably be our clients.
Well, no, remember, so this is your client's app. It's not your app. So it's looking at you right now when you create an account, Sherry, that you're just using Sherry's mobile app. It doesn't know that you're Sherry. So you're going to create this account. Like I said, I created it under my son's name, Connor, right? So I don't confuse myself, right? I do that often. And I chose David as the realtor.
Okay, so we're going to basically have to sign out if we've already created it, because I've already
No, if
created.
you've already created it, you're fine.
Yeah,
And the co-buyer, so just kind of put yourself in the mindset. When you're using this, you're the consumer. You're not the realtor, right? So co-buyer is just a co-buyer. So your consumers will be able to have a co-buyer and share information back and forth between spouses, significant others, friends and families. We'll take a deeper dive into that. But the reason I want you to dive in now is I want you to start playing with it so you can ask the proper questions, okay? And understand that it does not know you're you, the realtor. It's completely 100% consumer driven and functions like you're the consumer, not the realtor. That's the step one clarity that most people need to understand here. Any other questions? Okay, moving on. All right, mykw.kw.com. So I'm going to log into my screen and I want you all to do this too. Go to mykw.kw.com. I'm going to give you guys a series of domain names, okay? And I'll follow, you're going to, at the end of every class, you guys get some information from me. You'll get these slides. You'll have this information as well, so you can go back and look at it. This class is recorded, okay? And it will be on our YouTube channel. Probably by tomorrow. I'm usually a day behind on all of my recordings. Everyone say hello to the Dylan. When school's out, Dylan is a frequent visitor to my training classes because he likes to time his entry on when dad's talking to everybody, because that's when he needs my attention the most. Right, Dylan? No, okay. He's not camera shy at all. So anyway, so over the trainings, we'll give you guys logins. And now these logins that we're going to give you, okay, I'll explain each platform and how they engage in our world right now. mykw.kw.com was our first one. That goes back to that e-edge world that I was talking about. And there are still some things on mykw.kw.com that are set up and used as you launch yourself into KW. And then you'll probably never really look at much again as you start to put yourself into command. I know it's a little confusing having multiple profiles. Yeah, okay, you're funny. But we'll talk about that. So I'm going to bring up on my screen, and when you guys log into mykw.kw.com, there's that second .kw in there. You will use your KW credentials to log in. And that's your user ID and password. Okay? I got to teach, bud.
Hi, Miss Cachetti.
So Dylan knows some people on our calls. My regulars are my hockey family. Okay. So does everybody see my screen? Okay, I'm on mykw.kw.com. Jennifer, how's breakfast? We good? We enjoying ourselves? All right. Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms, what are we having? Yogurt?
Greek yogurt, blueberries, pineapple, or pumpkin spice granola.
There we go. Pumpkin spice. 'Tis the season.
It is. Sorry.
No, you're good. All right. So mykw.kw.com. All right. So you'll log in. And first thing I want to show you guys, we won't delve all into this, but I want you to do this. This will be part of your action steps. Okay. Now, all of your market centers have a relationship with a company called Scott Leroy, where they've done some things for you to set you up. Okay. And what you will see is on the top, on the left, there's a profile button. Does everybody see that there on their screen? It's a profile. Go ahead and click on that. Basically, as you scroll through here, you're going to see a picture or not where you can upload an agent picture. You're going to want to do that. Gina, give me 1 second. I'll come back to you. You're going to want to make sure there's a picture there. And then the rest of the page are fill in the blank. There's nothing hard about what we're going to show you to do. It's just a lot. The overwhelmness is what's hard because we're giving you a lot of things in your world. The doing is not hard. It's the organizational structure that your brain is going to go, what? We'll get you there, right? Give yourself time to learn and adapt to everything. Don't feel you got to nail everything first time go. That's not going to happen. So really, I just want to show you guys here, give this all the information you can, because this will populate to some of the other platforms that we use, because this is our first generation of these profiles. As we migrate away from this, it is important to complete this as best you can. And the one thing I'll show you are two things that we will talk about a little bit each day is one, there's a biography in here. You guys need to write a bio about yourself. Okay. And when you're talking about a bio, how's my battery? Oh my gosh, my computer's not plugged in. How did that happen? Give me 1 second. Panic, 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 panic. What the hell? All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I cleaned my office and accidentally unplugged my computer. Biography. That's what I was talking about, right? You're going to write a bio. Now, I want you to put yourself in the mindset that you're not going to have one bio. You're actually going to have to write two. Okay. Now, when you're starting, one is okay, but here's why you're going to have two. One is your marketing bio, which is going to be you telling your story to your consumers. Okay, a lot of people struggle with this. This is why I kicked off earlier about doing 0 transactions in the Great Equalizer. A lot of the people who don't really care about how many transactions you've done. They're looking to connect with you. So tell your story. What's your background, where you've come from, what your hobbies are, what your passions are, where you went to college, where you grew up. People are where you previously worked. You are a doctor or a PhD or a teacher. People care about those things. And you're looking for a reason to connect. And over time, you can start to brag about your successes in real estate, but in the beginning, you don't have anything, and that's okay, right? The other profile that you will write is your KW profile, because as the largest real estate company in the world, we are the largest referral company in the world. A lot of people don't understand that, okay? You can pass referrals around the world and receive some commission, but agents will serve for other agents by profile online through KW, which we will talk about on the last day. Okay, so you will have a referral bio. And the difference between the two is this. Once you're with KW or have been with KW for a period of time, there are things that in our universe that only KW people who have drank our Kool-Aid, we joke about this, understand. Have you been to Bold? How many times have you been to Bold? Have you been to Ignite? Are you on the ALC? Are you the regional tech trainer? These acronyms, these abbreviations, the general public has no idea what you're talking about, nor do they care. However, other agents do. Have you been to Mega Camp? Have you been to Family Reunion? Are you a mentor? Are you a PC coach? Are you in a PC program? Things matter inside the KW universe. And again, all those things mean different things to different people. And they're not necessarily based on transactions. I have made referrals to people that didn't have any transactional history, but I went online and found that they had done everything, had a conversation with them and given them the referral because they were prepared and ready to go. I don't always give it to the person that's done the most business in an area. So you have to shrug off that limiting belief of production means everything, because it just doesn't. So think about writing those profiles and how you tell the story to two different audiences. Now, Gina, you had a question when I logged in on this page.
I'm not getting in.
When you go to mykw.kw.com.
Yeah, it's not letting me in.
So it's the same login and password as you would for commands.
Command, yeah. It says error, invalid SAML response. The status code of this response was not success, was the responder.
Just refresh your page and try to log in again. Sometimes cookies get screwed up, and also make sure you put mykw.kw.com and not mykw.com.
mykw.kw.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or try Google Chrome.
Well, and thank you for bringing that up, right? So secondarily, for all the things that we work on, you should be working from Google Chrome, right? Safari doesn't work.
Okay, it let me in now.
There you go.
Thank you.
Sometimes you just got to do a refresh, kick the tires, right?
Okay, got it.
A lot of things we work on Apple doesn't play nice with. So Safari is going to be a challenge. So if you're an Apple user, you're still going to want to download Google Chrome. Maybe use Firefox as a secondary. Safari just doesn't play nice. More times than not, when I run into issues, it's because of that. Just an FYI. All right. So without spending too much time, you just want to fill out this profile page. You have secondary questions. I'll say this a lot. Following up, or you need clarity, use your Market Center Tech Trainer. They're there to help you, right? And give you more information there. But as we step away, I will show you one other thing that some market centers find valuable, will use regularly, is their intranet. So each market center has what we call an intranet, and a lot of them will put their calendars there. Okay, so if you click on your market center intranet at the bottom of the page, okay, the first time you log in, it's going to ask you a series of questions. You're basically going to set up another profile. Sorry about that. They're not all synced together on the back end, but you'll see a calendar on the right-hand side. And if your market center, and I don't know who they are, but if your market center uses this training calendar, it's valuable to you. You can click on your picture on the upper right-hand side, okay, and click Edit Preferences. To edit your preferences, at the bottom of the page is a calendar sync. I highly recommend that you use this, especially if your market center utilizes the intranet. You can sync it to your iCal, or you can sync it to Google, right? And you can sync it to your phone. So you have all that information updated for the classes that you utilize on a regular basis. So those are the two things that I want you guys to do on MyKW. One is log in and create your editing profile. Two is log in and sync up your calendars if your market center uses them.
Question?
Yes, go ahead, Sherry.
Hey, David. Yeah, so I've already done the profile and everything, but you said then come back on over to the right side for syncing up your calendar. What do you click on the right side?
On the bottom right-hand side, it says quick links.
Did you say quick links?
Yeah, you should see your MC
Yeah.
375 intranet.
Yeah.
Click on that.
Okay.
And that'll take you to your calendar page for your market center. And then the upper right is your picture where you can go ahead and sync up that calendar. Preferences will be at the bottom.
Okay. And if our picture's there, are we already synced up or not necessarily?
No, not necessarily. Just means your profile is launched. You'll synced up if you set it up to your calendar and you're seeing all those trainings pushed through to your calendar.
Okay. Sorry. I've gotten this far, so I've got to ask you. I've clicked, I've got my, my profile, but where's the thing where it says
At the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
It says calendar subscriptions.
Oh, that's what I'm not seeing yet. Okay, I'll figure it out.
Click on your picture. When you click on your picture, it'll say edit preferences.
Right.
Right, you should see this, common shortcuts, edit preferences.
Yeah.
Click on edit preferences, and at the bottom of edit preferences page says calendars.
Okay, cool.
And then from there, you can sync up to either iCal or Google. All right, one other thing I want to show you. So in KW's world, in most business worlds, you're provided an email. Okay, and you're actually going to have two emails, just so you know, through KW. And we'll talk about each and the importance of each and how they work. All of you should have your emails set up at this point. And if you're not sure where it is, I'll show you how to access it. But KW's at kw.com. So David Donaldson, you can write this down and email me if necessary. David Donaldson at kw.com is my KW provided email address. It is nothing more than Gmail. So KW's worldwide email platform is Gmail. So when I log in and access my emails every day, just go to Gmail and I log in. But you need to know how to log in, what your email is. So if you don't know, you can find it here on mykw.kw.com. If you hover, don't click, hover over the word technology. Okay. Scroll down to KW email. Everybody see that? Okay. When you click on that, it's going to ask you to sign in or manage your email. Now, look, after you're set up, you will never have to do this again. Okay. But if you don't have a KW email, you can click sign up. If you're not sure, you can just click manage. Manage will either say you have one or you need one, either way. And you'll see that your email is right here. Okay. When you scroll down, there's a forwarding option. So you can forward this email to another email if you would like. You can create your password here, which I recommend that you do. reset your password for your email if you haven't already done so. And you have a recovery email at the bottom, which basically means if I get logged out of anything, what email address does it go to give me a password reset? So those are the three things that are on this page. Now, once you've created your email, okay, now it's not asking me to set one up. It should be your name at kw.com. Don't get funny with it. Use your name, right? Don't be Virginia's #1 realtor at kw.com. It's hokey. Be you, right? Use your first name and last name. I don't care if you're on a team or not. Use your first name, last name at kw.com. If you have a common name and you have to put your middle initial or a dot or a dash, I understand that. That happens. But be you, okay? But this is your KW email. And what you will do from there is you literally will just go to Gmail, log into Gmail. It's going to ask you for your email address. It's going to ask you for your password. And you'll just go into your Gmail. So that's KW's email platform is Gmail. Go ahead, Gina.
So I'm just clicking on the KW Gmail login and I'll get all these options.
Yes.
Okay. Getting there. Sorry.
It's okay. No, I understand. There's a lot here. And like I said, most of you are already set up, but sometimes people don't know where to access or affirm or know what those are.
No, actually, I'm really excited to learn this because at one point I had it forwarding to AOL and there's a whole crazy thing going on where it's going to like my Gmail account and another account and AOL. And I'm trying to figure out why that's happening.
I get it. I totally get it. Now, and so this is where I'll kind of give you my email speech here. And I'm glad you brought up AOL and thank you for being honest. I won't make fun of you for using AOL.
No, I don't. It's just the old one.
Here's the thing about email addresses. As I led off with, you guys are all business owners, right? Congratulations on being business owners. Your public persona and perception is important, okay? So there are 3 types of email addresses you can use in your business. The kw.com is the second level, right? kw.com says you work for an organization, you're a professional, you're a realtor, okay? The first level or third level, depending on how you like to look at hierarchies, is the free email. davidtherealtor@gmail.com. Who uses @gmail.com in their everyday email address for work? Raise your hands. Be honest with me. I saw you, Jennifer. She's like, I don't know. Don't do that anymore. Don't do it anymore. It's not professional. Now,
I've been slowly switching everything over. I started off with my Jennifer Shaw at Gmail, but now I'm switching everything to @KW. It's been a slow progression, but it's getting there.
And here's what you do is you just take, and you can pull the Band-Aid off and just start utilizing it because you can do this, right? You take your Jennifer Shaw at Gmail and you forward it to your KW Gmail. Right? You forward Jennifer Shaw to jennifershaw@kw.com. Anybody that's emailing you at that address will show up in your KW email. So you won't miss anything. And then you will respond to them. You will respond to them from your KW email. And they don't need to know. People don't pay attention. They just start responding to emails. So they're not going to get confused that it's a different email address. You've just updated your email. So if you're not sure how to do that, check in with your Market Center Tech Trainer, okay? And set up your forward, your Gmail to your KW, because they're the same platform and they talk to each other. So level 1 or level 3 is your free Gmails. Don't use those. Please stop. Please, I beg of you. Level 2 is your @KW, which most people should be utilizing in their business. It says you're with a company, you're a realtor, you do this. The third is when you grow your business and you're a professional and you have a personal brand, okay? You can actually go out and purchase a domain, which you're all going to do anyways, okay? Like mine is revolutionary.net, okay? That was my team when I was running one, okay? And it's also Gmail, but I own that domain. So I have david@revolutionary.net. That's my professional business. Now, I'm not a broker, but here's where I'm going to give you some free advice. You cannot just start advertising yourself as a team or a business. There's legalities around that, okay? Has to be an LLC, has to be on your license, has to be approved by your market center. So you can't just start deciding that on Wendy Binder rocks realestate.com. Like I can't just do that, right? You could get fined for that, and people have. So when you start to brand yourself, talk to your broker about it and get clarity about what you can and can't do. But those are the 3 levels of emails: the free mail, the KW, and then your personal branded email, which costs you like $10 a month. I highly recommend it once you go down that path, okay? But at a minimum, use the KW one. I saw 2 questions up. I saw Gina And then I think I saw Sherry. Gina first.
I'm good now, thank you.
All right, then you just lower the hand. Reactions, hands down. All right, Sherry.
Yeah, just backtracking a little bit. So when we went on and we connected our calendar with our account,
Mhm,
and you have to choose, like if you're on an Apple, for example,
mhm.
and it says it's going to email to your phone. Doesn't it, I mean, does it matter? It's just going to email you to the email, right? Whether I pick it up on my laptop or my phone.
No, they're actually, phones are different. You have to sync the phone separately than just your Gmail. When you set up your phone, again, I can't go into that here today, but
Yeah.
on your phone, you have to tell your phone to pull those emails separately than just logging into Gmail.
Okay, well, I got some work to do because I don't like pulling my emails. I have like tens of thousands of emails up on my phone. I always do it on my laptop, but I guess I'm going to have to bite the bullet here. Okay.
I highly recommend, I live off of my emails on my phone. Syncing them up is a great time saver. All right, so that's my KW. All right, that's the big three things that I need you guys to know about the MyKW, KW.com. All right, next is this
David,
is
we
the
have Melissa with her hand raised as
Oh,
well.
sorry. Go ahead, Melissa. You can hold down the space bar to talk.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So how difficult is it to change your KW website address? And does it also change your KW email?
No,
And I have a reason for asking.
They are two different things. The email
Okay.
has nothing to do with your KW website.
Okay, even though they have the same beginning that was
Correct.
chosen when I
Yeah,
first started
your
out.
website might be daviddonaldson.kw.com. Your email address is daviddonaldson@kw.com. Their subdomains off of each other are the KW
Yeah.
host page, but they're not tied together.
Okay.
Now, changing your KW provided email is not a simple thing, and you can't just do it. You can have an alias, okay, but it's still going to be stemmed off of what it is currently. If you have a name change, which is not uncommon, you just have to contact KW directly, and they can set up a change for you.
Okay. The main concern was the website. The email can stay the same because I already have that set up to be forwarded to my regular domain that I have.
Yeah.
But the website I found, I thought my name was unique enough to where I wouldn't run into this issue, but apparently there's someone else with a similar name. So every search you do comes up with them they're not even in the market that I'm in,
Sure.
or close.
They just beat you to it. So
Yeah,
we're going to talk more about consumer on Monday, and it may or may not make sense for you to do that. And we can talk about that then.
okay,
David,
perfect.
Isn't that Scott Leroy that helps with that? They've helped me with mine. I had to change mine.
They
slightly.
can. Scott Leroy, your Market Center Tech Trainer.
They can look at it right now immediately and tell you if it's available or not.
Right.
So it
But
was
again, I don't want to go down the website rabbit hole. And there may or may not be a reason for Melissa to change it. There's a bigger conversation around organically showing up. So we could talk about that. And I might recommend a one-on-one, Melissa, between
Okay, perfect.
the Market Center Tech Trainer and me, even if we'll talk about some things generically on Monday in the consumer class.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. All right. So on this screen, and you're going to get this, are a lot of the what I call bookmarks that you guys should all have on your desktop. If you don't know how to bookmark, I'll turn you to your Market Center Tech Trainer or Google of how to bookmark things. But there are bookmarks and there are launch pages. I actually have my domain set up that under Google Chrome, there's 3 dots where you can have launch pages. So when I log in every day, Command opens up, my Gmail opens up, Command opens up, Facebook opens up, and they just log in every day for me. Some people just pin them as bookmarks, which are quick links across the top of your page. I like them opening up in tabs. It's personal choice, but what's real important here, this page shows you the links that you're going to log into the most that I want to make sure you guys all have. Gmail, which is your email we just covered. Agent.kw.com is your, well, Gene, I'm going to email this. You'll get it. I promise. You get this from me at the end of today. Agent.kw.kw.com is your consumer platform or command platform. Sorry. Answers.kw.com might be the single most important thing that I give you today and every day. Because what answers.kw.com for you guys, it's essentially Google. It's Google for all things KW. Any topic you want to look up that has to do with anything, you can search a topic on how to inside of answers.kw.com. So you really need to take this. If you have a question, you're tripped up, you're confused, you're not sure, that's where you should go first. A lot of people pick up the phone, send emails. I want to challenge you to go there first and be a self-advocate for yourself, because a lot of that information is updated all the time by a gentleman named Paul Polanski and Bryson Royster, who work tirelessly from kw.com to update the information. And every time we make changes, they make changes to those live pages. So answers.kw.com, you can search by topic, command, my edge, everything is in there for you guys. So that's an important one. KW Connect, which we'll cover in a minute, which is like kind of our own personal YouTube channel. And then we have a regional YouTube channel. Now, Ted, or one of my Market Center Tech trainers, would you throw some of these links into the chat so everybody has these, please? You know, the common ones. I want you guys to join and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's how you get this recorded class. I want you to go to our Facebook group and give us a follow. That's how you can ask live questions that anybody can answer. Okay. And also, I also have Scott Lori Marketing down here at the bottom. They do a great job of providing training and support and loading things. All of your market centers pay for their services. So when you go to scottleroymarketing.com, there's a login page. It's going to ask you to log in. It's your market center number. So you guys all have a unique market center number, not your KW ID, but your actual market center number. So like if you're in Tyson's, it's 375, right? So just know your market center number, which was on that first page with your Market Center Tech trainers. And I'll bring that back up here if you're not sure. Oh, there it is. This number right here is your market center number. So if you enter in your market center number, that'll give you access to your Scott Leroy account. They are great. And I think Sherry mentioned that, or they are a great resource, as well as your Market Center Tech trainer locally. They have a lot of great training videos too. All right, kwconnect.com. Okay, that's a second platform that we utilize on a regular basis. Okay, and this is also where your profile is. Now we're going to talk about your referral profile, setting that up later, but it's there. That agent to agent profile shows up underneath your picture on the right hand side. There's a couple of things that I want to show you for your importance on kwconnect.com. Now, some of you will recognize, if you've been in command, it does say connect at the top of command. I would still tell you at this point in time, because they're building that out better, it's better to go to kwconnect.com than necessarily try to connect through command. I know that's a tongue twister, but kwconnect.com is still the best place to go for training videos and live videos that KW puts on. I'm going to show you that. So on the right-hand side, you see calendar and then training. Underneath training, there's a Connect Live calendar. Okay, so here's what I recommend here in the Connect Live calendar. KWRI does 1 to 2 to 3 trainings a day on different topics: sales, production, growth, command, you name it. There's instructors providing training in a live classroom environment that you all can log in and attend. And you'll see here that we've got basically a week out, or even a little further than that. So I kind of coach everybody to this. Sometime between Friday and Sunday, look at your calendar for the coming week. Okay? Structure out your calendar. Go, what trainings is KW offering this week? What trainings is my Market Center offering this week? What trainings is my region offering this week? And build your calendar around that and your appointments. Okay? If you think it's important to add that training to your calendar and an appointment pops up at the same time, ask yourself this: what's more important? It's not for me to tell you. If you thought the training was important, can you schedule that appointment around the training? If not, that's okay. Most of the trainings are recorded and you can go back and watch them. It's not the same as being live, but you can go back and watch them. So look at the following weeks, see what's coming up, see what you would like to attend, add it to your calendar. One thing to take notice is that KW time, training time, is central. We're 1 hour off. East Coast is 1 hour after central. So if it's 12 o'clock, that's 1 o'clock Eastern time. Usually within 72 hours, those same classes are under command live on demand. So you can always go back and rewatch something that KW provided to you. I think it's important you guys know that that's there. Secondarily, under resources, you also see Connect Live, same training calendar. There's a Welcome New Associates tab. And you guys should know where this is, okay? This is there's a couple of smaller places. It kind of tells you what you should be doing as a new agent. There's hyperlinks that talk about some of the things that we just talked about, setting up your profile, tech-enabled agent, your site. We can go to and reaffirm that you've done everything that we're going to talk about through classes. It's all right here. And they're links to different trainings. Right? So Welcome New Associates is a great resource for you. All right. Now, underneath technology, remember, notice I'm hovering and not clicking. Hovering over technology, there are Command Your Business. Okay. Definitely something you should bookmark. Command Your Business. These are literally micro level training sessions. I know in 1 hour's time, I go over a lot. And you can go back and watch my trainings. They're valuable. But underneath these are smaller trainings, 7 to 10 minute, 3-minute videos where you can come home at the end of the day, crack open a bottle of wine, right? And go through these little tidbits and make sure you hammered everything through. KW understands that some people learn in a classroom style like we do. Some people learn through video. Some people learn through FAQs, which is why we had answers.kw.com. Some people learn through one-on-one. So we try to give you a little bit of everything so you can adapt your learning style any way that works best for you. We know there is not a one-size-fits-all solution for everybody. So that's why there's redundancies built into the platform so you can figure out what works best for you. So Command Your Business, tech-enabled agent, and there's also team training if you run a team. Those things are there for you. So the big three right now, there's so much in here, but the big three, right? The Connect Live training calendar, Welcome New Associates, right? And Command Your Business. They're the three that I want to highlight for you guys today. Like anything else in our world, take a deep dive. There's a lot here. You can get lost. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of information in here, but that's the best places to start as you're getting comfortable for what do you need to know for your training. So that is kwconnect.com. Also the same user ID and password that you would log in to Command with. Any questions on that tab? All right, awesome. All right, now let's talk about Connect to a degree, right? Remember, today's just orientation day, so we're not doing a whole lot of heavy lifting here. But agent, no S, agent.kw.com. Okay, is going to bring you to Command. User ID and password to log into Command. Okay, if you forgot your password, you can click Forgot Password on that homepage, and that will reset it. Remember that reset your password for Command, Connect, okay, My KW, they're all the same password. Not your email. Remember, email is Gmail, so that's different unless you made it the same. Now, once you're inside of Command, it's going to give you a quick little walking tour and a couple of things that you should do today. Okay. On the left-hand side, if you click the red KW, okay, you're going to see all the applets, right? And we talked earlier about a phone, right? So I want you to think of Command as a platform like your cell phone. Because on your cell phone, what do you have? You guys have apps on your phone? So think of these on the left-hand side as your applets inside of Command. So think of Command as your phone, and inside of that platform are these different applets that you will run your business with. And these applets are what we're going to go through each day and give you some training and comfort around what you should be working on and to run your business. So the homepage, that's where we are. That's where you'll log in every day. You'll see your homepage. Then you have contacts. That's your data bank. That's what we're going to jump into tomorrow. That's the most important thing. Who is in your world? Getting all those contacts in there, right? Tasks. What do I need to do each day to move my business forward? Who am I going to call? Who am I going to email? What's happening in my world that I need to do to be successful? Smart plans. How do we send communication out to people on a daily basis in a set it, forget it, however, incredibly valuable way that keeps you in front of your consumers? Those are called smart plans. Right. So basically Monday's today, Tuesday will be contacts, Wednesday will be smart plans, Thursday we'll go over opportunities. Opportunities are your digital whiteboard. Does everybody who's got whiteboards in their office or their home? Right. So think of this as a more digitally enhanced, more valuable version of that whiteboard that you have hanging in your office that you have to erase every day. Everything's going to be at the click of a mouse for you. So that's going to be opportunities. It's also your transactions to close management. Okay. We talked referrals, which would be the last day, is referring business around the globe. That's referrals. Campaigns. We'll talk about Facebook campaigns. We'll talk about Instagram campaigns. We'll talk about email campaigns. We'll talk about posting things to social media. There's an integration where a lot of these things come from Command and go to these other platforms. So those are campaigns. Okay, we'll touch on those next Wednesday. Reports are reports. Designs is Canva. Anybody familiar with Canva? Right? Flyers, marketing materials, social media posts, emails, newsletters, magazines, listing presentations. It's KW's version of Canva. It's not Canva. We call it Designs. We partner with another company here. Here's why this is incredibly valuable. Our listings are there. So you don't have to upload photography. So everything is readily available to you. And we will cover that next Tuesday. That will be Designs. All the listings are in there. And when I say all the listings, I mean all the listings, not just yours. All the MLS listings feed to our system. And if it's in the MLS, it's in KWLS. We have our own listing service. Everything is there. And then consumer is the mobile app and the website, and we will cover that next Monday. All right, so that's the core structure. That's what we're going to work on each and every day. Now, the one thing I want you to do right now is everybody on their dashboard. Is everybody logged into their command right now? If you're not, go ahead and log in real quick. agent.kw.com. I know this runs at 11. You'll find there are certain days where I run a little bit long, but stick with me if you can. All right, so when you're on your home page, on the upper right-hand side, you're going to see Customize Home. Okay, so Customize Home means what is showing up on my login screen. The great thing about Command is it's incredibly customizable. So your experience, whether it's Gray or Karina or Shelly or me or Ryan, is different based on how you set up your platform. Okay, and it starts here on your home screen. When you go to Customize Home, a window is going to pop up. It's going to ask you, what do you want displayed on your dashboard? Do you want your tasks? I do recommend you show your tasks when you start utilizing that platform, that they show up. Product updates. Well, product updates are fantastic. What did the KWRI team launch this week that you need to know about that's new to Command? That's what product updates are, okay? Goals. Did you set your goals? Are you achieving your goals? Have you met with your team leader or PC coach to set your goals for 2022? That's what this is talking about here. Design updates. Well, all those marketing materials I just talked about, we put new stuff out every single month, right? Because we have holidays every month or events every month. So there are new custom design things for you each month. And KW says, here, come take a look at what's new. So that's what design updates are. Database health. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but do you have enough information through all the context in your database to be truly in relationship with somebody? We're in a relationship-based, sphere-based business. I need more than a name and a phone number to be successful with somebody for them to know who I am. Okay, so we're going to talk about what that looks like tomorrow, but that's database health. Notepad, that's no different than any notepad on any other platform. You can take notes on any particular day, right? And leads. When you start plugging in consumers or doing advertising or driving things to your websites, are new people in your database today that weren't there yesterday that are now what we call a lead. Okay, different agents have different terminology for leads. Somebody that's buying something to me might be a lead. In Command's world, I'm going to tell you what their definition of a lead is, and you do with it what you will. There's a lead and a contact. A lead is the person that I don't know, that maybe I've had a one-way conversation with. Somebody gave me a referral and I have to talk to them. I haven't done it yet, but I have their name and phone number. Or somebody registered on an advertisement or my website. I have their information, but we haven't connected yet. They're a lead. So one thing has happened, not two. A contact is somebody that I had a substantive two-way conversation with, that I know what their intentions are and they know who I am. That's a contact. Now, what you do with that in your definition is up to you, as long as you're consistent. Consistency is key in building your data bank. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but that's my personal definition. So when you turn these on or off here on the left, you'll see these widgets on the right. And you can drag, anytime you see these 6 dots, there's ellipses or meatballs, you can drag and move things around. That's what those 6 dots mean. Okay. So when you're dragging these things around, you're changing your display. You're setting up the display that you want. Then you click apply. And instantaneously, your dashboard changes based off of what you just did. So again, you customize your home display, and you'll see here that I've got my database health, my tasks, product updates, my designs here, and my goals at the bottom, right? So just go in and play around with that. That's an action step for you. Go in there, set this up. It's not gonna be perfect today. You're gonna keep tweaking it. That's okay. You're gonna set it up a way that works for you. Now, inside of Command, as you walk across the top, you're gonna see a couple of things here, and you'll get more familiar with these in the next couple of days. We got Marketplace. We could shop and add things into your back end. And we'll show you important things over the next couple of days of what you should be looking at. But again, go in there and look around, see what's available to you. This notifications bell. When you email people or people email you, you're gonna have a notification here, which brings me to another app that I want you to download. Everybody get your phones out. Okay, now, this may be a short-lived app, right, Ted? Short-lived app, but it's called Kelly, K-E-L-L-E. K-E-L-L-E. Now, for those of you that may be as old as I am, will understand this reference, okay? Kelly essentially is your pager. You remember those? Some of you are laughing, some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. Only the cool kids in high school had these, right, Ted? Pagers. Somebody pages you from a payphone. Yes, they used to exist. And you would have to call that number back. Kelly is a pager. She says, hey, Gina's trying to get a hold of you. Give her a call. That's all Kelly's really good for at this point. Okay. She's push notifications to your phone that you have a new contact or a new email or somebody you need to follow up with. You cannot follow up through Kelly. You have to follow up through phone or text or email, but Kelly is your notifications button. We are moving to what we're going to call Command Mobile, which we will have some point, hopefully over the next quarter, which will put Kelly to sunset. Kelly will be our artificial intelligence engine on the back end, but we'll have a big release and a lot of fanfare around Command Mobile that will be coming out very, very soon. When you log into Kelly, you use your same KW credentials, user ID and password. Sherry, I see your hand up.
Yeah. It's the one that's blue.
Yep,
Okay.
you are correct.
Personal
Okay.
assistant.
Yeah. So now across that, we'll dive more into this tomorrow, but you're going to see your name. There's profile settings, trainings. This profile here is your referral profile. It's not your marketing profile. Okay, we'll talk about marketing profile tomorrow and over the next couple of days, but you're gonna have to start pulling some things together. Headshot, bio, contact information, Mark Center logos, right? Ask your Mark Center Tech Trainer for those. Okay, also I can show you where to download those tomorrow. You gotta start thinking about your profile. Also start thinking about your agent to agent profile. That's secondary bio, telling your story. Now, if you're new, those bios are interchangeable because you don't have a KW history. If you've been with KW for a while, then you're going to need 2 different bios because we talked about that Kool-Aid story in the beginning, right? So we'll dive more into these things. Other things you're going to need as we move forward. You're going to need every day your KW user ID, login, and password. In the future, you're going to need your Facebook login and password. You're going to need your Google login and password. There's things you got to show up with, especially Facebook. You're going to need a Facebook business page. Okay, we're not going to build a page, but you need to have one. So talk to your Mark Center Tech Trainer or do a Google research on how to build one. That'll come into play next week, but start thinking about that. If you don't know what your Facebook login is, take the time to figure that out because you're going to need that in the class later on. So every day we'll kind of come across those things. Lastly, I want to show you here is a question mark. Under the question mark, we have these things called guided tours or purple bubbles. So I walked you through the homepage today. But I can kind of say, hey, show me this. And if I click show me the homepage, I get these purple bubbles, these little tutorials that tell me what the different things are on the homepage. So just another layer of training that's available to you inside of Command, right? So purple bubbles, guided tours by different applets. And we're adding more and more of these step-through tutorials. And when we launch new product updates and releases, sometimes the purple bubbles will just pop up because it's a new feature and we want you to know about it. So we'll build those into the platform for you. All right, let me just kind of go back to my slides, make sure I cover everything today. What's next? So tomorrow we're going to talk about marketing profiles, but you need to show up with those things that we talked about, right? Headshots, bios, contact information, market center logo. Jennifer, I'm going to email these out to you, but you're more than picture to take a picture if you like. I want you to start thinking about what do people have in relationship in your world. We call those four, right? Family, occupations, recreations, and dreams. They're the people in your database. How do you know them? Where did they come from? What do they have in common for you, right? Are they from church? Are they from school? Are they from Little League? Are they family? Are they PTO? Are they soccer? Are they baseball? Are they hockey? Are they college? Are they high school? What do people have in common with you? Where did they come from? Write out a list of commonalities, right? They're not just buyers or sellers. They're more than that to you. So start thinking through who they are, because when we upload your database, and when I say we, I mean you, when you upload your database, you're going to start tagging people and get organized around who they are. So write out a list. Start writing those out tonight. And I want you to all do this right now. I want you to all go to command, okay? Okay, I want you to go to command. Now on the left-hand side, does everybody see my command page okay? Okay, on the left-hand side, I want you to go to contacts. Click on contacts. And across the top, it says import and add a contact. I want you to click on the word import. Okay? When you click on the word import, a little bubble's going to pop up and it says download the pre-made CSV form. I want you to click on the word that says download. I want you to all do that right now. And what's going to happen, it's going to download an Excel file. Now, for your Apple users, you need to use Excel. You can't use numbers. You need to use Excel. Okay? If you have trouble, contact your Market Center Tech Trainer, and they'll get you the proper form. Okay? I want you to download this form. And what I want you to start doing tonight, I want you to put 5 to 10 people on this form. Okay? Names, emails, phone numbers, home address, if you have it, birth dates, if you have it, right? We'll show you where to get some of this data, right? Home anniversaries, if you've been in business for a while, where, you know, when did they buy their house last? Social medias, right? You can paste their Facebook page in here and it'll connect to command, right? Twitter, Instagram, you can paste those pages in there. We'll talk about tags more tomorrow. Are they a buyer, seller? Did they buy or sold? If they did any of those things, you just put the letter Y in those boxes. Don't put N for no, just put Y if yes. Okay. Now I want 5 to 10 people on this list for tomorrow, and we'll talk more in detail about it. But I want you to start building this out tonight. Okay, so you know how to format and add people to your database. Bring up my slide again real quick.
Question, David.
Go ahead.
If we already have people in our command, is that separate from what you're saying? You're saying use this formula here from this list?
If you've already got all your, so if you already have everybody in your database and there's nobody else to add, then great. If you know how to use this, then that's okay too, right? But this is kind of like a general conversation for most people that haven't built a data bank out yet.
So David, this is, so I, for example, have my people, again, like what Sherry said, I have my people in here, but they're kind of a mess in terms of, I don't have birthdays, I don't have anniversaries, I don't have that. So this is, so is this pulling people from the database in organizing before uploading again, or how would you suggest doing that?
This is an import from basically if you're starting from scratch.
Okay.
It does not overwrite data. So Jennifer, if you were already in my command database and I wanted to update your contact record with birthdays and your Facebook page and your home anniversary date, I can do it, but I can't do it through the import form.
It has to be done, edited into command already.
That's correct.
So I'm going to have to go through the weeds and weed everybody in that way to add all that information. Okay.
Yes, that's correct. So this is starting from scratch, or we're adding more people to it.
Gotcha.
Okay, and I'm going to show you tomorrow how to get additional data from Facebook and things like that, because you can get their birthdays and you can export their birthdays and their social media pages directly from Facebook. So I'm going to show you tomorrow how to do that. But if they're already in your database right now, there's no way to merge data.
Okay.
So yes, if they're in your system, you have to manually, and there are some things we can do in bulk, but birthdays and stuff we cannot. So that's just a matter of just doing a little bit each week.
Will you show us a good way to categorize people as well? Because for example, I'm coming from market leader / e-edge, and that's what I use because I know it and it works for me in terms of how I input people, because I've been inputting people both places, market leader and e-edge, but I'm better knowledgeable on e-edge. In terms of, to me, command has felt kind of difficult to find those lists of people to go through. Okay, who was the most recent person I talked to? Will you show us down the line?
Oh yeah, I'll show you all of that.
Okay.
That's all available to you, right?
Okay.
Last contacted by you or by them, or engagement, and creating your tag structure. So that's why I talked about that forward and that tag structure. If you're using a tag structure that you like from the Edge, you can recreate that same tag structure inside a command.
Okay.
Right. And if there are some of you that are Buffini people, so we're talking about, it might be A's, B's, or C's, right? Or red, green, yellow, or as I mentioned, all those other avenues, church, school, high school, college, previous job, they all have a place in your database.
Okay.
It's personal to you. But yes, being able to filter to the database, we will talk to all of that tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you have another question?
So I was just going to say, I had to sort of, everything was reloaded into command 3 times automatically for me. And so I'm actually here so that I can build this spreadsheet properly and then get everyone into command properly.
Sure. So just so you know, if you, and I would recommend you meet with your Marketer Tech Trainer one-on-one, but you can wipe your database and start from scratch.
Right. That's what I'm doing.
Absolutely do that. I'm sensitive to that. And what I would recommend, because you can actually export your data first.
Right.
You might want to export everything out.
Right.
Then wipe, then rebuild your list on a clean import.
That's kind of what I'm doing.
You can absolutely do that. Yeah, it's hard, but a lot of people migrate in, and garbage is wrong, but garbage in, garbage out, right? If I just did a bulk sync and brought everything in, who knows what actually came in if I didn't have a lot of structure. And there's a couple of reasons for that, right? One, in the beginning, people like me that were doing the instruction training, we didn't know it as well as we do. And so now I have a system that works to kind of coach everybody through how to structure and organize your data bank. 3 years ago, that wasn't necessarily the case. We were learning on the fly. So being an early adopter was good and bad when you're in production. So I sympathize and appreciate you. All right, with that, that's the end of today. So you're going to get an email from my assistant, Benito. He's going to send you the slides from today's class. You'll listen to the contact form, the different things you need to know about. Please take the action steps and be ready for tomorrow, because we're going to compound each day. Each day is going to build on the previous day. I'll spend some time answering questions. I will always reaffirm what's the most important things. Repetition is key. So I will talk about the same thing over and over again, kind of foundationally that lets you build everything else. And tomorrow's the most important class of them all, because your database sets you up for success. So that will be the most in-depth thing that we con. First week, most important things, step 2, week 2, with more of those secondary fun things that once you master the first week stuff, you kind of add into your business. So with that, I appreciate you guys all showing up today. I hope you can all make all the classes. Follow us on YouTube, follow the YouTube, those links. Like I said, usually about 24 hours for the next class will be posted. Takes me a while to profit that. But other than that, you are free to go for today.
Thank you very much, David.
Absolutely.
David, is it the same Zoom link every day?
So when you registered, you got a Zoom link, and that'll work every day for you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Should be on your calendar at this point.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Ted, Shelly, did we cover everything that was in chat? I don't know if anybody's left. Was there anybody that asked a question that didn't get their question answered? I just want to make sure everybody's covered. All right, looks like we're good. All right, everybody, have a great day.
You too. Thanks so much.
Yep.